There's a point in your life where you experience a change. And I'm not talking about just any change. I'm talking about the change that literally brings you to your knees. The one that has you questioning who you are, what's your purpose, and just what's the point of this whole thing called life. New Era of Her was birthed in a season where I felt like in the moment that God really removed everything from me that gave me a sense of identity. And I mean, stripped me, not knowing what I know now. All he was doing was really just answering the very prayers that I prayed to him. But in that moment, it didn't feel like it. In the midst, I had to decide on whether I wanted to basically wallow in self pity or allow circumstances to throw me around in whatever life gave me, and to just accept it or push back, learn from the season that I'm in and what it's really revealing to me, and basically how to leverage it to become my dream self. Someone who is healed, healthy from inside out, more radiant in spirit and love, at peace and content with my now, but I'm always working to become 1% better than I was yesterday for my future self. I am here to welcome you to your new era. That change was pivotal, and he allowed it to happen to mold me into who I am today. And what made the difference is what I chose to do with it. My name is Chesley, your host of New Era of Her, and this podcast is dedicated to you. I'm speaking to the person that just experienced heartbreak with someone that you planned a future with. Now you're questioning what now, after so much time has passed. Or you lost a job that gave you a sense of security, and now you're wondering what your 5-year plan will pan out to be from here. That business that you once had a drive and passion for and now has become a burden. You planned out on your vision board and it looking nothing like your reality, and now you're left questioning, what are you actually capable of? Welcome to episode 1, your starting point into rediscovering yourself. We all know that life isn't easy, but we all do have the free will to make decisions, and the decisions we make reflect the life we live. It's important to really take a moment and recognize the change. You need to take a moment to self-assess how this change really makes you feel. Pay attention to the emotion that rises when you're thinking about it and use it as an indicator. I think oftentimes we have a habit of not being truthful to ourselves due to shame or pride, but why when it's just you and your thoughts? Why not be honest with yourself? We try to minimize how we truly feel for the benefit of our ego, but is it really a benefit? For me, I remember going through a breakup and so many things in my life changing all at once. Business wasn't running the way I pictured, my idea of how life would look up until that point just wasn't adding up. And it was such an unfamiliar territory. I was constantly asking myself, like, what was happening right now? And most importantly, why was this happening? When there is a lot of noise in your environment is loud, it would be hard to hear someone if someone was whispering to you, right? Learn how to sit in silence and hear yourself think. Take inventory of your thoughts that are going in and out of your mind. Don't be that person who runs to the next person. And if you lost a job, I get it. It's normal to rush and find a new job, especially in this economy when you're done. But when you're done job searching, take a moment of silence and think, really ask yourself, what is it that you really want to do? What really speaks to you? A lot of us, if we're being honest, are afraid to sit with ourselves because you're afraid to face your trauma, your fears, and the person that you truly are behind closed doors when no one is around. The way you think and speak to yourself, or the feeling of hurt of what someone said or did to you that play in your mind, whether you like it or not, you cannot move into the next chapter of your life until you have dealt with the chapter before. Because if you go and you try skipping steps, you'll get to a point where nothing makes sense and you'll have no choice but to go back. So acknowledge the change, sit in it, and feel. Ever since I've grown into my faith and started being more intentional and conscious with my walk with Christ, I believe everything happens for a reason, whether it's to the benefit of us or others. Yes, we have free will and, we make our own decisions, and sometimes those decisions do come with consequences. But something about God, He factors that all, and you will always end up exactly where you need to be with who you need to be, no matter how many delays, twists, and turns. What we need to realize is life is just one big lesson filled with experiences. You really have to have an intervention with yourself and ask yourself these honest questions and be honest with yourself for once. Who am I outside of this change? Who do I want to become after this? What would future me think of this and how I'm moving right now? I started journaling my thoughts, notes, whenever I was reading the Bible and what God was saying to me and things that resonated with me. When I was listening to podcasts and sermons, I wanted to keep track of all of it because it's something when you write it down, it just sticks. I was on a mission to get to the bottom of it and also have something that my future self can see when I make it to the other side and how far I come. Something that I use as a guide and reassurance, like, remember when you thought you would never make it through and you did. So in regards to my journal entry about a year ago, I was literally lost. I didn't know where I was going to end up until this point. But honestly, right now it's serving, as a testimony. And there's days where you're not going to feel like you're wanting to be positive. You want to hurt and be upset. But remember that there will be a day that's coming. You will be okay. And each day that passes is being one day closer. So no matter what phase of life you're in right now, get a journal. Every time I go back and read some of these entries, I'm always so amazed because whatever I was feeling or whatever I asked God, he answered, revealed, and spoke to me, but only when I chose to be still and go to him with whatever was on my heart that day. So get a journal, go to Ross or Marshalls. They have plenty of beautiful journals. And I bought this one I bought the one I have for like $4.99. And honestly, you can't beat it because who doesn't love a good bargain? We are living in a generation of, convenience, and we want everything to be quick and fast. And I remember hearing this quote that said, we want microwave results for a crock pot God. We are so fixated on the idea of everything being exactly the way we want it now, and we're trying to bypass the journey and process that. If you think about it, those two things are more important than the journey itself. It's the space and time of who you are and who you are becoming that sets the tone and it shapes you. So don't be in a rush to go over this hill. It's all about taking intentional steps consistently. But I'm going to leave you today with some practical steps that you can take today on your way to your new era. Number 1, grieve it and sit with yourself. Don't fall victim to allowing your distractions to take you from what needs to be revealed to you in a place of stillness and silence. 2, ask yourself whether you truly love who you are. Do you really love yourself like you say you do? And before you answer that, think about how you treat yourself, how you allow others to treat you, what you tolerate, what you give your energy to, and what you truly do with your precious, valuable time, and what environments you allow yourself to be in. 3, take time to discover who you are at your core. If you are someone that is going through a breakup, reconnect with who you were before that person. Now, if you can't recall, that speaks to a bigger problem, one that reflects that you may not truly know yourself, and that is the root that needs to be tended to. So before I go, your homework for this week is to basically buy a journal and answer these questions throughout the week. And some pages should be filled by the next time I speak to you. I'm leaving you with this quote that says, when peace becomes your standard, chaos no longer feels like home. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment by introducing yourself to me and let me know your thoughts. And I would love to connect with you on social media. Find me on New Era of Her on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok and X. I love you guys. Until next Sunday.